We have a special request pre-show today that was asked by a listener.
Really?
Or actually several listeners, if you didn't know.
I did not know that. I saw people talking about it, but I didn't know it was actually a request to talk about on the show.
Yes, there was actually a legitimate request that said, you guys should talk about this on P&A. So I said, next pre-show, we'll do it.
Okay.
There was a discussion in one of kind of our main Discord, social Discord that we're in, that talked about whether or not you shut down your PC. So one of our friends like shuts down his PC religiously every night. And then this got into this whole debate about, shutting down the PC versus leaving it on or letting it sleep or whatever. And then it branched out into closing tabs and all this stuff. It was a whole kind of tabs versus spaces conversation about shutting down your computer. So they wanted to know what we do and what we think.
Do you shut down your PC?
I do not shut it down like start menu shut down. I do sleep. I start menu sleep.
I sleep as well. I sleep it as well. However, when I put it to sleep, everything is closed. Desktop, I see the desktop. All applications are closed. Everything is closed. Put it to sleep.
So you basically shut it down and everything except for actually shutting it down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things in my system tray are still going. And, Steam might still be running in the background or something. I don't know. But, no application windows are open.
Okay. I do sleep my computer and I leave it almost as is, but usually that's not very much. So I'll usually have one web browser and Discord and the Steam library screen open, on 3 separate screens. And then I just sleep it from there.
I was having a problem for a while where the computer was waking up overnight somehow and then not going back to sleep. So I'd get up in the morning and my it wouldn't be the screens wouldn't be on, but I would hear it running, right? You hear the fans going, you hear it all going. So I finally figured that out. I forget exactly what I did, but I think I disabled some things in the device manager or disallowed them from waking the computer up. And that ended up fixing it. But no, ever since then, sleep it every night. When I come back to it, tap the space bar, wake it up. I think turning your computer off is wild. Why? I actually have to push the button on the computer. No, that's too much. And then thankfully, I mean, the startup time on computers is way different than it used to be.
Oh, so much better. Yes.
From starting it cold to having a desktop, actually able to open applications, less than a minute now for me. But you still have all of those applications are still open. I think the actual time to start the computer and have everything started and running, applications started up is still 4, 5, 6 minutes, but you can start interacting and open a web browser within a minute.
Yeah, I actually got kind of good at this whole restarting and quickly getting back into things when I was playing a lot of Dota 2 where there's a leaver penalty and you're letting down your team when you're disconnected and they hold your spot while you're disconnected. So I would, if I got disconnected or if my computer turned off or whatever, then I would as fast as I could, I would log back in and start up Dota and get back into it. And it's meanwhile, it's launching Discord in the background and doing all this background stuff. And I'm just frantically double clicking on the Dota 2 thing from Steam. And I got it round down to I don't know, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get all the way back into the game.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But I guess that's another question that it brings up to me is, do you have your computer set up to auto log in, or do you actually have to put in a password or a PIN or something when you turn it on?
I have to put in a PIN.
Me too.
I put in a four-digit PIN. It's the same 4-digit PIN on every single computer I have, but it's a 4-digit PIN.
Fair. Yes, mine's also a 4-digit PIN on my personal computer.
My computer at work requires a 6-digit PIN, which
mine too
just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So it's different for work, but yeah, no, it's always a PIN. Actually, my work computer allows Windows Hello. Mm-hmm. So I usually the funniest thing in for work is every time I get back to my desk at work, my 2 actual external displays are my primary displays, and then my laptop sits off to the right. So anytime I sit down, I have to sit down, tap the spacebar or whatever, and then I see that the computer is locked. I have to look to my right and then look back at my screen.
Yeah, you do a little Zoolander smolder thing over to your computer, and then
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have a computer that's the same way. It's actually also to my right. My laptop sits to my right at my desk at work. And but I got a new computer at work lately, like a new laptop, and it takes like, I don't know, 10 seconds to initialize the little Windows Hello camera. So I actually don't prefer it.
Oh, that's way too long.
Yeah, exactly. Like my previous laptop it was basically instant. Like it took like maybe 1 or 2 seconds to kind of find the camera, but now it takes like too long. It just says like, looking for you or whatever it says on the Windows Hello screen. So typically I let it, like, it does that after you reboot, but then once it does that and like times out once, you can get the pin screen, and then I just use the pin almost always.
Sometimes when I sit down, I'll, like glance over to my computer or my laptop, like camera, and it will be logged in before my external monitors actually like reconnect.
That's how it is on my Mac. So my personal MacBook Pro, it unlocks with my watch. So like I'll sit down and I'll press the space bar or whatever, and before the monitors wake up, I feel the little tap on my watch, and it's unlocked my laptop.
Yeah, no, I don't shut down my computer. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know if it brings you peace, brings you joy, I won't judge too much, but like I don't do it either.
I would want to know why. Like, why? Is it that like the computer's still running and like the fans are still running, or is it a power thing? Like I could see that power draw, like maybe, I don't know. I don't think the computer in sleep is drawing that much power.
I think a computer in sleep draws like 1 watt of power or maybe less. Like it does not draw very much power to just keep the memory with like data in it. It draws almost nothing.
I don't know. I don't know. My computer literally never turns off now, because even during power outages, I have a UPS, and it does not turn off.
I need to get a UPS. That's on my list.
Best one of the, like, it's one of those things that when you like use it and install it, you don't notice you have it, but you come home and like all of your clocks on like your oven and your microwave and all of that are all reset, and you come sit down at your computer and you tap the space bar and it just turns on. I was like, wait a second, that's only possible because I have a UPS. It was one of those like weird amazing purchases that if it's working right, you never notice it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Black Friday is coming up. I should keep an eye out for a good UPS. The problem is if I get one, I think I want 3, because I want one on all my networking stuff. I want one on my like PC, and then I want one on my PS5 so it stops yelling at me for losing power while it's sleeping. Yeah,
it's not worth it. But you're right. I don't have one on my networking stuff. I should, because it's in a different room, so I'd have to put that in. But the one I have theoretically could keep my computer running while it's sleeping for almost forever, and then while it's running, it could be like 8 minutes or so.
How big is that thing?
It's big, but I only have one monitor plugged into it. So the other 2 go out, and then, but no, it's like the second largest one they had.
Wow. So it's like the size of a computer tower?
No, not that big. It's close though.
I mean, they make them that big. I know, I've seen them that big. So
yeah, it's not small. It's pretty big.
Okay.
But it was the same thing. It was Black Friday. It was actually a year ago, I think, Black Friday, and I had a Micro Center gift card. What else would you use a Micro Center gift card on?
Of course.
So no, I've gone to such lengths to make sure my computer doesn't turn off.
Wow, you're really on the other end of the spectrum here. You're just in the it needs to be on 24/7 all the time.
Yeah, I don't want it to turn off. I've bought additional hardware to make sure it doesn't. Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 166. I heard that you finished a game, Jason.
That's an achievement, isn't it?
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah. Yes, the day the last 2 episodes of Dispatch came out, I sat down and finished Dispatch. It was spectacular. Spectacular game. I can barely call it a game. It is definitely more of a TV show that you play.
Okay.
But there's this dispatch element in there, and honestly, the dispatch elements almost started getting in the way, and I was like, nah, I don't like this anymore. But they did enough story within those that it made it worth playing all the way through to the end. And like the last, I mean, So the Dispatch developers or the game director or whoever did an interview on Friends Per Second, which is a different gaming podcast that I really like and I listen to. They did an interview with them, and they said, "What do you want people to know about the last couple episodes?" And they said, "Hold on to your butts," and they weren't kidding.
Wow. Okay.
It was great. It was so good. This is the first. So, okay. Well, let me back up. I'm really excited. You know how you play games and you have like big decisions to make?
Yes.
And they alter the story that you get. A lot of people always say, "Oh, I want to go back and play this again and get different." Big one for this is Baldur's Gate 3, right? I want to go back and make different decisions and play the game again. Mm-hmm. I've never cared enough to go back and do it again on any game I've ever played, to make different decisions. Even like the big one, like the original, I loved Mass Effect, right?
That was one of the famously like different ending
it was
choice games, right?
Like you could seriously alter your game by making different decisions. Who joined your team and what. The best part about the crazy part about Mass Effect is like the decisions you made in Mass Effect 1 actually like carried over into Mass Effect 2 and 3. It went and found your save, and it was very cool, right? Very long-reaching decision-making. Dispatch is similar. Like the story you get is impacted by the decisions you make. The overall arc is the same, but there are, plot points or things that can change. And I have never played a game where I have said, I want to play this a second time and make different decisions.
Okay.
Dispatch finally got that feeling from like made me feel that way, where I was like, oh my God, this is such a hard decision to make. I'm going to make one right now, but then I'm coming back. I'm going to play this again because I want to see the other way.
Wow. So how does that work mechanically? Like, can you like save scum? Can you like load it from halfway, or do you have to start over from the beginning? Like, how does that work?
I do know that you can like save files. So like you can copy a save file and basically make it a new save, and you like every big branch in the tree, essentially you could save it off. I'm just planning to play it through a second time is really my thing. Is I wanted I told this to some of my friends that I was talking to about it, is like I know other people are playing this and they have kind of 2 or 3 save files, and they're kind of playing, because as it was coming out with episodes, they were playing all of the different branches of the episodes as it was going, and they were kind of saving a bunch of different save files. I said, I don't want to, like, that sounds really interesting, but I don't want to do that because I want a canonical story, Jason's canonical Dispatch story, that is the way that I chose to play the game the first time. And the second time, the third time I play it, they will not be canonical. They won't be, the thing I chose, but, I still want to experience them.
I'm surprised. I mean, how long does it take to play like all of the episodes? I know you played them over the course of several weeks.
Okay, so that was honestly that you got, like, I don't know. I'll find the answer. It's roughly an hour an episode, I would say. So maybe 8 hours, maybe a little shorter, because I think episode 2 was pretty short. Episode 3 might have been pretty short. So maybe 5 to 6 hours total. But the fact that they came out in episodes 2 a week is what absolutely, like, it made a lot of people mad, but it was absolutely the right decision for people like me. It made it so that I could keep up with the hype. It made it so that I was excited for the next one to come out. I think that was the right decision. I don't know that I would have engaged with it as well if I could have binged the whole thing.
Oh, okay, sure. Because there was like online commentary about like the story so far and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the story so far, and like as it was coming out, like the developers and people were doing interviews, and other podcasts or YouTube channels were talking about the game, and everyone wasn't spoiling it. And I really like that, like that community around it, where everyone's like, it's so good, and we know that this is happening, but we're not going to spoil it, or only listen to this if you've played up through episode 4, or like I just really like that sense of community, and I engaged with it really well, and it made me excited to go back and play more of it. Whereas I think if I would have binged it, either would have fallen off like I normally do of games, where I would have been like, okay, well, I can play as much as I wanted of it. But if we've talked about this on the show before, if I knew it was going to take 6 to 8 hours to play this game, it feels almost overwhelming. Whereas as it was coming out, I was like, it's only 2 episodes. I know I can get through it in a bite-sized chunk of time, and I won't be able to go any further. So it was a lot more like sitting down to watch the latest episode of something on TV, where it's like, this is only going to take an hour. I can't take any more than that. So it was much easier to engage with it. So it was kind of twofold, but it was, it was such the right call to release it like this.
It's almost like, listening to you talk about this, it's almost like a book club or something, like where everybody was kind of up to a certain chapter or up to a certain point in the story so that you could all talk about it and like go no further kind of a thing. And then of course they drop the next episode. I mean, I guess book club is a bad example because TV show is a better example, but I'm trying to imagine how you could do this with other kinds of games. Like if you could do this with games that come out all at once, but you could like, I don't know, join a Discord or get a group or something where like somebody moderates it and they pace everybody through and say like, we're only playing up to, you know, whatever chapter such and such in the game. And then like have people so that you could keep the conversation on some cutting edge that everybody was kind of familiar with.
Yeah. I think some games do this. It really does remind me more of TV. And this game was very much like a TV show with some decisions. I didn't play with QuickTime events, so even that was taken out from a gameplay element for me. I just liked watching and experiencing. But there were moments when you were like, okay, I'm having a conversation. I'm going to have to make a lot of choices. And you put your hand on the keyboard and you made choices. And then there were like 10-minute stretches of time where you're just like, I'm just watching a TV show. I'm just watching an animated show. And you kind of felt that. You got a sense of like when you were going to have to make dialogue decisions and when you weren't. So I relate this much more to a TV show than anything else. But it reminds me a lot of watching a TV show like the season 1 of Westworld. I don't know if you watched that show.
I did. Yep.
Where like as soon as the episode was over, everyone was on Reddit like theorizing what was going on. I don't think this was as much of like theory. It was more of talking about decisions, and not even going to Reddit, because they do this thing after every episode where they show you percentages of other players on like what decisions they made.
Oh, cool.
So like one of the very early decisions you can make is I don't know. I'm trying to get a really there's someone that's bothering you at the bar, right? It's not really a spoiler. You'll see it, but you get to choose like what drink to throw at them, right? You throw one thing or you throw the other thing, right? One of it's alcohol or one of it's water, right? And you get to choose water or alcohol. Like it's a really simple decision, right? And it really doesn't make any difference to the story.
Sure.
But at the end of that episode, it shows you what percentage of players chose one or the other. And it does that obviously for more impactful decisions as well. And you like, it starts that conversation on like, oh my God, I chose something only 10% of the people chose. Like, what is everyone else doing? Or, oh man, everyone else like, was 98% of the people chose to do the same thing. Like, obviously it just starts that conversation, and it was very cool. And you didn't have to go to Reddit for it. Like, you didn't have to talk to other people about it if you didn't want to. It was just part of the game to like have that kind of feedback or dialogue on what everyone else was deciding as a part of the episode. So it was so cool. And again, I think the fact that it came out in episodes, not all at once, made that engagement cooler, because like you got to the end, maybe a cliffhanger of an episode, you found out what everyone decided or what percentage of people decided similarly to you or not, and you were done. You had to wait 2 weeks. You're like, okay, now what did everyone else do? Like what happened? And I don't know. You just start hearing about other people playing. It was just really good. But what I wanted to say, I know I'm talking a lot, but Dispatch was a great game. I think World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2 and other MMOs actually do this. They actually segment the story. You and I remember, like, if we go back and listen to our World of Warcraft The War Within episode where we reviewed the story.
Yep.
We said, oh man, that story was so cool. All these things could happen. And it ended on not like quite a cliffhanger, but it ended on like, where was this going to go next? And then 3 months later, season 1 or season 2 came out and we got a little bit more story. And then season 3 came out and we got a little bit more story. And I think it's not quite episodic as much as, every week, but it is very similar in nature where they're releasing chunks of story rather than just giving you the whole story right at the beginning of an expansion. And, obviously World of Warcraft's been doing this for a very long time. Guild Wars 2 now is doing their yearly expansions, and they're giving you story every update. They're giving you little chunks of story every 3 months. So I think more games are understanding that because of the media landscape we live in, spreading things out, forcibly spreading the conversation out rather than allowing people to binge things is beneficial to marketing, right? Beneficial to community, beneficial to the zeitgeist around a game or a story. And, TV just inherently got this right, decades ago when it was the only way to release things.
Well, and not even TV, right? It goes way back because they used to do stories a chapter at a time in newspapers, right? Like, it used to be...
And radio, yeah.
Like, to sell the newspapers, they would put the chapter of the next whatever in there. And so you had to buy the newspaper to get the next chapter of the story.
So I feel like, I honestly feel like gaming is rediscovering this thing that everyone already knew. Mm-hmm. But it's working. It's working for me, particularly as I have less and less time.
Right. I think that's the key, is the less and less time thing, because I'm right there with you. I actually am really, that's really cool experience. And I guess I missed out on this, quote unquote, although I do appreciate that this thing, I'm assuming, is broken up into episodes that I could go back and play and say, I'm going to only play one episode tonight or today or, this week or whatever, because I may not have time to kind of sit there and play a whole game. And so then it makes it, to your point, feel less of a commitment because you can just say, I'm just going to sit down and do a little bit of this. And I like that.
Yeah, it's very well chunked.
It reminds me a little bit of Uncharted actually did this, right? Uncharted has chapters and they show you a little title screen. Like they don't like cut black in between them, but like when you reach a new area that's the beginning of a new chapter, it actually, like, all the chapters have titles and it says like chapter 32, like whatever, and it has some punny little, line or whatever from the story that's coming up. I used to use those as a stopping point. I would say like, oh, there's the chapter screen. I know that I'm at kind of a natural break between scenes or between experiences or whatever. Now I'm going to put this down for the night or whatever, and I'll come back to it later. And I really like that kind of episodic stuff.
It's so refreshing because it's so different than other media that's in our lives right now, right? Like the entire scroll to the next video, short form video, is about keeping you engaged forever, keeping your eyes, right? Like media and social media and all that is about keeping your eyes on the screen as much as possible. And anytime you introduce a break, I actually say this to my girlfriend all the time, thank you for breaking me out of the cycle, right? Like, because if she texts me or she talks to me or she calls me or something, it breaks that next video cycle. And you like just breaking that, you're like, okay, I got to go do something else. Having that inherently in a game or in a book or in a TV show, having that, and Dispatch straight up rolled credits, right? Like the end of the episode was not like here's just a tiny little title screen at the bottom. No. It rolled credits. It went to black. It played a song just like the end of a TV show. It rolled credits. So you like knew you were at the end of an episode. Having that is so refreshing. Having that break, having that defined, okay, we're giving you permission to either continue or get up out of your chair and go away. Like it's honestly a like great breath of fresh air on, okay, I can make my own decision. I'm not being brainwashed into continue playing.
I mean, to be clear, like games are not brainwashing you to play them most of the time unless they're like Farmville or whatever. But I understand what you're saying.
Well, I mean, the more attention, the more engagement that a game has, the better. And this game was not designed around that. And it was very nice.
I'm going to have to give this one a try. Like, I know I didn't pick it up, because I had a lot of stuff going on at the time. But I think I'm going to have to give this a try. It seems, would it be a good Steam Deck game, do you think?
I go back and forth on this. I think the story element of this game would be a great Steam Deck game. I don't know how the dispatching would work. I think they could probably make it really good for a controller. I don't know how they did it to start. I also have heard that now that the game is successful, that they are looking into deploying it on more platforms.
It would actually make an interesting phone game.
Phone game, right? Like, I mean, it's really easy to just click on the, like, it all, like, big touch targets. I think it would be really easy. So I think it would be really good. I don't know how it's implemented off the bat. You bring up a good, you bring up an interesting point that I have thought about, though, is this game would be a lot of fun just to play the story elements and to skip the dispatching of it, or to just kind of see the story elements of the dispatching. I don't think it would work, but I would love a mode like that in this game.
Well, I was thinking the same thing as you were talking. I was like, I wonder how they could do that and put it into graphic novel mode or something where you get to make the choices, but like you don't have to do the dispatching. So like, don't make me play the game, but let me do the story parts and do the choice parts of the story. That would actually be pretty appealing to me, especially if it made the game like an hour shorter.
Yeah. The dispatching was cool, and it was a cool game element, and it made perfect sense on why you were doing it.
Sure.
But I would love to, my second playthrough of this story, I would love to just play the story and not the dispatching. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I played the demo, and the dispatching was not as interesting as I thought it was going to be.
The game itself is fine. Like, the dispatching itself is fine. They mix story elements into the dispatching. Like, the one you played in the demo was like very vanilla. They mix other things into that experience that make it part of the story. So it made sense. It was cool. It kept it fresh every time you played. Like, very rarely was there a just super vanilla dispatch people. There was always an element to it that made it different.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, that has some potential then. I'll have to give it a try. I've been finding myself really craving like that single player like story game experience lately, and I haven't had time to really sit down. Like, I haven't felt like I've had time to sit down and play something. I actually like powered up my PS5 for the first time in like a couple of months the other day, and so that I could, I don't know, I was casting around trying to find something to play on it a little bit because I had some time, and I was like, well, I want to do this, but I don't want to get into it. I ended up booting up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second one, and playing that for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that. But I didn't do any story stuff. I was like checking boxes on RPG stuff. Like, I didn't really take the opportunity to go, move forward on the story again, because it was late at night. I didn't really have that much time. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get sucked into something that's going to take another hour and a half, or if it's just going to be something that's kind of quick. So I'm kind of like looking for something like that. Maybe this is that. I don't know, something kind of low commitment might be good for me.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like you can't stop in the middle of an episode. They do have scenes, right? Like, you can pick it back up. That is one of the downsides of this game, though, is if, like, let's say you see 3/4 of a scene and you don't hit a save point, there is no dialogue skip. You have to. It is a TV show, right? You have to watch it again.
Yeah.
But there are mini segments within an episode called scenes, so that you can restart in the middle of where you left off. I will also say you can pause at any moment at any time, so that might work really well on a Steam Deck, where you just pause and put it down.
I'll have to see if it's a demo still available.
I don't know,
because I could try it on the Steam Deck from there.
Yeah, you could. You could also try it on the Steam Deck for 2 hours and then return it if it doesn't.
True. It is Steam Deck verified, according to itself.
Oh, then it probably works really well. I mean, I could see how that could work. So, but now I highly recommend it. You should try it. You should just get it.
All right. I've got some travel coming up here in another month or so, and so I'll have to make this my travel game, I guess.
Speaking of Steam Deck.
Oh, what a transition.
What a transition. When you aren't traveling, boy, does Valve have you covered.
Yes, they certainly do. I was not expecting any of this week. This is I know that there was a lot of rumblings.
Was anyone?
Well, there were like rumors the week before or something like that. Like, I guess I heard that there was...
Sure, but like before that, it was nothing.
Right. Well, yes, because it's Valve. So you're like, well, they made the Steam Deck. It was a massive hit. I guess they'll never make another one. Like, because that's just how they do what they do. But what happened was not a Steam Deck 2, so don't get too excited if you don't know what this news is already. But they have put out several hardware releases that are not a second Steam Deck. I'll put it that way. The first one is the Steam controller. Everybody goes in this order, but the first thing is the Steam controller, which is what it sounds like, just a controller, but it looks like a really nice controller, which is interesting to me.
It's not the old Steam controller 2. It's a brand new controller.
Correct. It is a brand new controller with magnetic sticks, right? Not Hall effect, but some other better magnetic something or other sticks.
It's the even next step past that, yeah.
And also the little touchpads from the Steam Deck. So it's like you take the screen out of a Steam Deck and squish the two sides of the controller together, and you get this physical controller.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what they did with the PlayStation, whatever they call it.
Portal.
PlayStation Portal. Yeah, it's the opposite of a PlayStation Portal.
Yes. Yes. And it comes with like a cool little puck thing that is the wireless receiver and also the charging device, which I am here for because I have, like, for my Xbox controller, I got a charging thing. It's just like it sits on my desk and it has these 3 little pogo pins on it. And then I did this thing that replaces the battery door and replaces the battery in the Xbox controller with this rechargeable thing. So I just like set my Xbox controller in this specific spot on my desk and it charges. And so it's always charged when I pick it up. And so the Steam Deck the Steam controller can do the same thing, but it comes with it in the box, which is great. Like, it's just designed that way, which is amazing.
Comes with it in the box, and it is the wireless receiver, so that it's, like sitting right on your desk.
So smart.
Low latency. It's all, you plug it into your computer, you run it to your desk. It is both the charging where you place it and the wireless receiver that's sitting right there. It's a perfect idea. The Xbox Elite controller does this too, where the pin, like in the case, you plug a USB-C into the case and the case then has those 3 little pins and you charge them, but it does not have the wireless receiving. So you have to get something else, or you have to Bluetooth it, which is not super low latency all the time. And it just doesn't, this was the right way to do it. I hope that the controller is high quality enough. One of my other complaints about the original Steam controller was the quality of the controller itself did not feel super high. It felt very plasticky, very cheap plastic. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that this one is a little better. I suspect it will be. And I'm all in on this one. I'm 100%. I'm getting one.
Yes, I think I'm also going to get one. Did you have the original Steam controller?
I did. I had at least one.
Oh,
they were so
too.
Cheap. I was just buying 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or like,
that's right. They went on
$1
clearance
on one Black Friday. Yeah.
I think I got mine for $5 and then probably paid $8 in shipping or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could buy them for $1 or $5 and then just buy like 4 of them or whatever. I think I had one and I bought one more when they went for like $5. I also had a Steam Link, which is kind of.
Oh, I did too.
Kind of the predecessor to this next thing. Not really, but kind of.
Kind of. The Steam Link is a little tiny box that would stream games from your gaming PC to itself, and then you'd hook it up to your TV.
Yeah, the purpose of it was to have your Steam games on your TV. And they kind of said, well, that was really cool for streaming, but what if we just didn't stream them? What if we just gave you a pre-built PC that sat next to your TV, which you and I have both talked about wanting in our lives. Mm-hmm. And Steam was like, we got you.
Yeah, I've been thinking, I've mentioned it on the show. I've been thinking about, do I want to like put a gaming PC next to my like nicest television and work it that way, which I don't really want to do because it's kind of loud and whatever. But Valve has also announced this thing called the Steam Machine, which, if it sounds familiar, is because they had Steam machines way back in 2012 or whatever, where they were trying to partner with people to have them make PCs that were of a certain spec. It was the same time the Steam controller came out the first time. But this time, Valve is just like, we are making the machine. It's called this Steam Machine thing. It has these specs. It is kind of a reference architecture for, Linux-based, Steam OS-based gaming living room PCs. And they're just kind of going for it, which, given what they've learned in making hardware, especially with the Steam Deck, I am very intrigued by this thing.
Yeah, I have a few comments on this. The first is everyone is calling it the Gabe Cube, which I love.
Like GameCube.
Yeah, but it's the Gabe Cube, which I think is perfect. They say it's 6 times more powerful than the current Steam Deck. which makes it pretty good, right? 60. They said it's capable of 60 FPS on 4K with FSRS, upscaling and all that. It's I think you posted it's similar to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro kind of specs. I wonder, Chris, like this is very clearly positioned as a entry level to mid market TV console all in one package. I wonder if that's, I mean, it is certainly good enough. I wonder if, like, with your super nice TV running at 4K, like, do you want better? That was really my only concern about it all. I still think I'm going to get one because I've talked about getting one, but like, I wish they made a Steam Machine Pro, and maybe that's coming.
Maybe
it's coming.
Yeah.
But I want it to do. I want a Steam machine that does 4K native, right? I want a Steam machine that can do that. Like, I'm not saying that this is not a perfect, version 1, because it sounds pretty good, and we'll wait for actual reviews and people to get their hands on it. But like, this is clearly entry level to mid market, and I hope that Valve has success with this and takes it even further.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm on the same train as you are in terms of my TV is nicer than this machine can output, but maybe I don't care. Like, if it can do it well enough, like games that I'm talking about that are, couch games, right? Like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, right? That's a game I want to sit down and play on my couch. Whether that means I have to buy it on my PS5 or if it's something that I can buy it on Steam or Humble or whatever on a better deal and then play it on PC on my television, I don't know that I care as long as the experience is decent. Like, obviously, I don't think it would stream super well from my big gaming PC without latency. Like, I think that would be a problem even inside my house, which is why I'm hesitant to try to do something like that. But all of this announcement and all of this stuff has made me consider like dual booting Bazzite or something like that, which is like the open source SteamOS kind of fork or whatever. And like trying to dual boot that on my gaming PC and like put the gaming PC downstairs for a little bit. I don't know.
I think you could stream it within your house, especially over wired connection, well enough, perfectly well enough. I mean, GeForce Now and all of those web-based streaming services, Indiana Jones plays perfect on them, right?
Oh, that's true. I guess they do that over the actual internet.
Over the actual internet. So I feel like doing it within your house would actually be okay. Again, listen, I don't want to downplay this machine. I don't want to downplay I think the success that this machine is going to have and how well it's going to do for 90% of the market. Maybe, just as what it is. But I worry that something like Indiana Jones or something like, even Cyberpunk, right? I know it's come a long way, but, or the next big game, whatever the next big
GTA
story
6.
game is. Sure, GTA 6. Is it going to be able to run that on the graphics that you and I want, the level of graphics that you and I want on nice TVs? And I don't know that the answer is yes, which again, I don't think it's what this thing is shooting for. I would love to give Valve money to give me a Steam Machine Pro that can hit those targets.
Right.
So the other rhetoric I've really heard about this thing is that this is the new Xbox.
Yes, there's a lot of swirl or whatever you want to say about that, because I guess Microsoft has hinted that they're not like going to be going strictly console in the next generation. They're looking at something closer to this where it's like a PC attached to your television.
They have hinted at it, and I think I don't know that they've said 100%, but they've also strongly hinted that they're not going to make first party hardware anymore, where it's all going to be, co-branded like the Asus ROG Xbox LIX.
Yes.
Where they're, doing it in concert with one another. But like, if you can play Windows games on your Steam machine, most of them at least, games built for Windows or games built by Microsoft, is this the console that sits next to your TV now that plays your Microsoft stuff?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. That would be a twist.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. It makes sense though. I mean, so we've said for a long time, right? You need a PS5, a Switch, and or Switch 2 now, and an Xbox, or not an Xbox, but a PC, right? And then you've got everything covered. I mean, now everything is going so cross-platform that you barely need a PC for most AAA games. But you still need a PC for like good indie games and stuff like that, I think. Like Dispatch, for instance, is not available on Switch. It is available on PS5, but it's not on Switch. So I think that this could slot in nicely into a spot where you would otherwise have an Xbox console, because this thing looks like an Xbox console. It's like a little 6-inch cube.
It's half of an Xbox Series X. It's just chop it in half. That's what this thing looks like.
That makes it even more like they could just give us a pro version that's just the size of an Xbox Series X and has a bigger GPU in it or whatever. Yeah,
I'm all in. I'm all in on that. I'd love that. I'm going to buy one of these day one just because it doesn't even matter what the price is. I'm just getting one. That is a good point. We didn't talk about it with the controller. They have not announced pricing for any of it. But people are saying this is going to be between $500 and $1,000. I think it's probably going to land somewhere at the upper part of that, just because things are expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like $800. Mm-hmm. The pro level concert or a pro console level price. Because that's generally what it has inside of it hardware wise and what it is capable of. I don't know that I super need this in my life, but I think I just think it's a perfect addition to any entertainment system, and it's going to sit right there. And when I want to play Jackbox on my TV with a bunch of friends,
yeah,
or I want to, do literally anything on a TV, this is going to be the thing. Any game that is any gaming on a TV, this is going to be. It's going to be this and my PlayStation. That's going to be it. So I'm all in on this. I think it's a great idea. Again, I would also be all in on an upper or pro level of something like this.
The one thing that they need to work out if you're going to do that is how to do Discord on SteamOS well. Because right now you can run Discord on a Steam Deck, but it is really kind of weird because it's kind of designed to run one thing at a time. And so having Discord running in the background, you can't you can kind of alt tab to it or whatever you want to say, but it doesn't quite work how you'd expect. Maybe that's not the point of this thing, but
yeah, because I don't know that I would ever do that. I don't see myself playing a Discord related game in front of a game that requires Discord in front of my TV.
I mean, I guess not, but even PS5 has added Discord support. You can log into a Discord chat from your PlayStation now. And this is going to be kind of a step back from that.
Yeah. That would be, that'd be a good next step for Valve.
I think they could figure it out if they wanted to.
I think they could. They seem pretty smart. Is this next thing, Chris, the thing that finally gets you to buy a VR headset?
It really might be. This is the closest I think I've ever felt like I could be to VR in my house. It seems almost perfect for the kind of VR that I want, which is mostly streamed from my gaming PC without a bunch of wires and junk that I have to put up on my walls. Yes, I think this is the closest we've ever been.
Yeah, the MetaQuest is very good for a lot of those things, but the Steam Frame VR thing.
Yeah, I think it's called Steam Frame is the official name.
I think it's called Steam Frame, which is the next generation of the Valve Index. The Valve Index will be end of life, but the Steam Frame I think, makes all the right trade-offs and makes all the right decisions to be the next gaming VR headset. And they've done some pretty amazing things with it that make it go above and beyond. Right, that take it to that to your point, both on device gaming and streaming, that I think just makes it the perfect device for VR gaming.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to price, I think, because I was just looking earlier today at some Black Friday stuff, and they have the MetaQuest 3 something or other. After gift cards and rebates and discounts and whatever, it comes down to $250 or something like that.
Yeah,
and I know
cheap.
This isn't going to be that cheap, but if this thing can come in somewhere in the $500 to $700 range, it will be very appealing to me, because it also has the advantage of not being attached to Meta, which I really like.
Yes.
And it's like attached to Steam, which
right.
I already have a lot of, I guess, sunk cost trust in anyway. So let's go with the Steam side of this.
Yeah, and they haven't violated that trust at all. Yeah, I hope it's in that price range. I think it'll be under $1,000 for sure. Whether it's at the $500 level, I don't really know. But the two major, I guess three major, two of them are kind of related. The biggest thing that they've done in terms of streaming, right, is they have this dongle that you can put in that creates a dedicated, Wi-Fi 6 connection for streaming the video to the headset from the computer. It's its own like channel, it's its own everything just for streaming the video. It is line of sight, right? But that kind of doesn't matter here because you probably are in the same room as the computer doing the calculation and the streaming. It's a perfect application of that technology because it doesn't really go through walls. But boy, if you can see it and you're in the same room as it, the connection is perfect, right? It's faster than wires in some cases, right? But it only works if you're line of sight, or it only really works effectively if you're line of sight. So that is really what I think sets this thing apart for streaming games. The MetaQuest can do it, but I have done it in the MetaQuest, and it is a little high latency, and there are jitters and frame drops and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not a perfect experience. I think this aims to solve that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I have been waiting forever to play Beat Saber, like on a thing that I own. I've played it, on things that other people have, but like I want to play Beat Saber, and this might be the way to do it.
Have you heard about the foveated streaming that they're doing?
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Yes.
It's so cool.
They're streaming only the like high quality like view of something in the places that you're looking dynamically on the fly.
So So your PC, right? Your super powerful PC is rendering 4K, right? It's actually producing a 4K image. But you can't like sending a 4K image over the Wi-Fi signal every second, like 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second or whatever, 144 frames a second, whatever it can get up to. It's just way too much data. So Apple has done the foveated rendering where it's only rendering, but this thing isn't doing the rendering. Your computer is doing the rendering and it's streaming that data. So now it's only going to be streaming the foveated, the foveated part of the streaming is it's streaming really high res where you're looking and low res where you're not looking. And that is just so cool. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like, I don't know why I feel like it's so cool, because you think about it and you're like, yeah, of course. Like, why would you send data where you're not looking? But like I guess the implementation of being able to do that is so cool.
Yeah, it's very clever. I guess it's tricky. It seems tricky to like calculate where you're looking and like know where and like on the fly decide how to stream that. But I mean, I guess they do it, and it sounds like it works well. I don't know for sure.
They do it fast. Yeah, it's. I heard some people trying to like look quickly to see if they can see the blurred pixels of where they're not looking and moving their eyes, and they could never catch it. And that's impressive.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
The last thing I want to talk about with this Steam Frame, and I don't know if you've heard this, but it is, I think it's important for you and me, but more for you, because you've talked about this in the past, is the Steam Frame is an ARM-based chip. The Steam Deck is not. It's an x86 chip, right? Like, it's running Linux, but it's an x86 chip. So the architecture of the CPU is similar to what runs most Windows computers. The Steam Frame can run games on the Steam Frame itself. You don't need to stream, but obviously you'll get more power if you do it from your computer and stream. But like for the games that are simple or that you just want to run on your Steam Frame, it can run games right on it. It's got 512 gigabytes of storage just on it. I think maybe you can upgrade that, but you don't need a computer.
Right.
but it's running ARM. It's running on an ARM chip. And they kind of made a big deal out of it in some of the marketing where they're saying, hey, you can play Windows games on SteamOS, which is a Linux-based operating system, on an ARM chip.
Which is like changing all of the things. You've changed all the variables.
All of the variables. And they're just doing the translation for you. And they're saying there's a bit of a hit. There's like a 20% hit on the things that we can't perfectly translate or throw at something that is ARM-based. But a 20% hit to do all of those things is pretty decent, right? It's okay. It's all right. And what it tells me and what they've kind of been saying is we're going to do more ARM things. I wish I had a source for it, but they have said we're going to do more things on ARM. We're going to it's where we're going. I think everyone kind of knows that. Mac went to ARM and all of our phones are on ARM, and that's just like the future architecture, right? It's where kind of people are headed. Windows has been trying to get a Windows operating system running well on ARM for a long time. So they clearly see that that's where it's going too. It just works better in a on-off environment. It works better in a, pick up and put down kind of environment. So it's obviously your phones are that. But what I have heard from all of this is that because they've been saying this I put big air quotes around this, but because they've been saying it so strongly that they're going to be doing more ARM things or more things on ARM, the Steam Deck 2 is clearly in focus, let's say, past the launch of these things. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be on ARM. And wow. I think we're going to see a Steam Deck 2 announced in 2026.
You think?
I'm making that prediction now.
Wow.
I think you're going to see a Steam Deck 2 announced at the end of 2026 as a part of this lineup coming out in 2027. That's what I think. And it's going to be on ARM. It's going to be called the Steam Deck 2. And it's going to be an OLED screen from the get-go with maybe an LCD option at the low end. And I think you're going to see all of that happen at the end of 2026. That's what I think.
Wow. Okay. That is putting a flag in the ground there. That is bold.
They've clearly got something going here, and they've like rallied around this idea of Linux OS or Steam OS as a Linux operating system on ARM, and they've like rallied around this idea of we're going to do more of this, and I think it's very clear that they're going to try it on the Steam Deck, and I think it's going to be not terribly long in the future. That's I don't know. It's a super prediction. It's a wild prediction, but we'll see if I'm right.
Okay. We'll see if you're right. I read a thing that said that they think that they are farther away from the Steam Deck 2 because they're waiting for the right chip. But based on all the stuff you just laid out on your little string board there, I think maybe they're waiting for an ARM chip to be good enough or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe they can do it.
They're trying to make the Apple M4 and put it in a Steam Deck.
I mean, yeah, that'd be amazing.
Right? Like that's and apparently Valve is better at getting Windows to run on an ARM CPU than Windows is. Not that they're running Windows, but they're running,
games,
Windows-based games. Anyway, I don't know. Long shot. We'll see. But here's my question, Chris. I've said I'm going all in. I'm probably going all in on all three of these things. They're very exciting to me. I think the wait for these things once they actually are able to be pre-ordered is going to be very similar to the Steam Deck in that it's going to take up to 6 months, even if you are, pretty early in line. So I want to get in line pretty early. What's the right price point for all of these things for you?
Ooh, good question. I think the controller is probably my preferred price point is about $80. I mean, cheaper is better, but like my like reasonable price point is probably $80. I'm worried that it's going to be closer to $100, but I guess we'll see. The Steam Machine, I think it should, in order for it to be like a not too hard of a decision for me probably needs to be $600 or so, which it won't be. I know it won't be. And then the Steam frame probably similarly needs to be $500 or $600 for me to like, for it to be a no-brainer. Now, if you're asking like, at what price would I stop considering buying one? That's a different question.
I think you might be surprised by the Steam Machine. $600 may not be where it's at, but it might be $650, $700.
Yeah. I mean, they have two different like storage tiers, right? It's 512 gigs versus 2 terabytes. Those are the choices. So maybe they can build some crazy margins in and like make the big one way expensive or something.
They aren't Apple. They're not going to charge you 400% for the higher storage level.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the other piece of it is I have to do a actual accounting of like, would I use it? You know, like, would it really be worth it? And that may be where some other kind of experiments maybe come into play with my gaming PC. Because I've been thinking about it, like I mentioned, like I almost would rather use my Mac at my desk in my office at home if I put my big gaming PC down on the TV. But the big gaming PC is like big and loud and it takes up space and it's, you know, whatever, it doesn't fit nicely in an entertainment center. Whereas the Steam Machine is like designed to sit next to a TV.
Right.
But
right.
I might be able to do a short-term demo or, you know, like trial run with like Steam Big Picture mode or something like that on my gaming PC hooked up to my big TV.
I would highly encourage you to try to break out your Steam Link and run streamed games.
I think I could do it with the Steam Deck. Like, I have the Steam Deck dock, as we've talked about. Like, I could just put the Steam Deck attached to the TV and have it stream using a wired connection, of course, and then try it that way.
I highly recommend that. I think you're going to it's going to be way easier to set up, and I think you'll find out whether you like it or not.
The one, I mean, it doesn't probably actually seriously matter, but with both of those setups, I'm pretty sure you would only get 1080 video output, regardless of what the stream is capable of, which is probably good enough, like I said, because the rendering will actually be happening at a decent rate on the desktop PC. But that is one like minor downside.
Potentially. I would look that up. I don't actually know.
I mean, I thought about, there's also the NVIDIA Shield Pro, which does do 4K streaming, but I don't need another piece of hardware to do that if I'm looking at things like this Steam Machine and all that kind of stuff. Is there what would be the crazy, like, Jason's not going to buy this thing price for these items? I'll turn it around for you.
Ooh, controller, I would probably second guess if it was over $150.
Okay.
Because like at $150, why not just buy a Steam Deck and use the controller?
use it as a controller.
Yeah. Steam Machine, over $1,000. I don't know. I think anywhere over like, I would start to think about it over $1,000. Over 1,500, I'd be like, I probably don't need it.
1,500?
I don't need,
I was gonna say 1,200.
I don't need it anyway. Yeah, 1,200. I mean, anything over 1,000, I would start to question. But I think 1,500 would be like an absolute, like, I don't need this. I'm not going to buy it. Again, I don't think they're going to be this price. Like, I just don't think they're going to hit. I think they're going to really try to target the under $1,000 for all, you know, for both this and the frame. The further under 1,000, the better. I would not be surprised if the 2 terabyte Steam Machine was like $899 or $999.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
The Steam frame. Ooh, I have a MetaQuest. I like it. I never use it. If the Steam frame was under $1,000, it'd probably be an instant purchase for me.
Okay.
If it was over $1,000, again, that 4-figure is. That's like where I start to be like, okay, do I need this in my life?
Sure.
Or do I just want it?
I mean, all of them are wants.
Sure, yes, but you know, do I care? Like, are they worth the experiment and the fun of having something new? And that line for me, and having the latest and greatest best Valve thing, that line is right around $1,000 for those two things each.
Gotcha. Okay. It's also tempting because similar to the Steam controller and the Steam Link, like, I want to reward them for even trying this. Like, I want to be the market likes this. You should do this more, please. But also, if this is a one and done, it's a neat piece of technology to have. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know if it'll be a one and done from Steam, but what I will say is every time Valve does something, Steam Deck, controller, mouse on trackpad on devices, and now, TV focused, entertainment system, PC, which Xbox has kind of already hinted that they're doing. And then like this focus or this kind of thing focused on streaming VR games with a dedicated streaming thing, like the market is going to follow. Asus is coming, right? Asus is going to try to build something, and MSI is going to try to build something. And clearly Xbox has already mentioned that they're trying to do something similar to the Steam Machine. It's not just Valve. It's everyone else that will follow, that will do good stuff as well. Who's the other one? Is it Lenovo?
Lenovo.
They made a handheld with SteamOS on it, right?
Correct. They did the Legion Go S, which is the SteamOS. Like, it's like a Steam Deck, but not made by Valve.
Yeah, I seriously wonder if Asus is going to say, hey, we can make a Steam Machine kind of thing that's, I'm talking about the Steam Machine Pro. It might not come from Valve. It might come from some other company. That's
true.
That says, we'll use SteamOS, but we're going to make this thing with a 5090 in it, right? Like, maybe not a 5090, but you get my point.
If it comes with a 5090 in it, it's going to cost $3,000.
Sure, fine, whatever. But that'll be the next level up. And I don't know that Valve will be the one to supply that, but I do think the market will follow and try to make at least a Steam Machine that has similar goals, because that's what happened after the Steam Deck. People saw that there was a market for it. People saw that people were interested in having a handheld PC, and that market was kind of started, but like Steam really jump started it, and then a bunch of people followed.
Sure. The only problem with that is going to be, I wish that those people would announce their things, or at least their intention to do those things, before I have to make a decision to pre-order the Steam Machine.
Yeah, that's probably true. Although, if you bought a Steam Machine and then something else came out, you could probably get 75% of the value by reselling it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, that's true. I don't
know if you've ever done that, but
I have not.
It's a really simple and easy, like, you should go through your house and all the tech you don't want anymore. It probably has some pretty good value. My brother sold his old gaming PC on Facebook Marketplace. Got a pretty good price for it. I mean, it's it's not a terrible option. I've sold some tech. I've sold an old Xbox. If that funds your next thing, it's worth it.
Sure. Yeah. All right. I'll have to give it a thought. I don't know.
You got a lot to think about.
Yeah. Lots of stuff to think about.
There's no prices or no action to take at this point.
Well, if that would help a lot, actually, if there was a little bit of that would help to anchor some of this stuff and decide sort of what to do. But all of this is abstract, and we can just imagine that the prices are all going to be reasonable, even if they eventually turn out not to be.
I just know that the prices on the Steam Deck are reasonable, and I feel like these are going to be similar.
Yes, this did make me go back to the Steam Deck page and look at the pricing on the OLED and be like, man, I wish I had a Steam Deck OLED. But I'm not going to buy a Steam Deck OLED because it doesn't have a better processor, or a noticeably better processor.
And because they're going to announce the Steam Deck 2 in 2026.
Yes, you heard it here first. Jason says,
tell me I'm crazy by joining our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes where we've talked about some of these things, or read our show notes, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
We're going to California.
Yeah, road trip. Well, not really a road trip.
I'm not driving there.
Maybe we'll take a plane.
We have mentioned that we were going to try to get BlizzCon tickets. I can firmly say that we have secured BlizzCon tickets.
Wow, that is some great news. You were the hero and went through the process and bought the BlizzCon tickets and did all the stuff. Was that
other people had to do this thing called work?
Yeah,
I just blocked an hour on my calendar and said, I am not working this hour.
Yes, Jason dropped everything and got us BlizzCon like regular tickets or whatever, and then went back 10 minutes later and got us an add-on ticket thing for the Dark Moon Fair or whatever, because they were sold out originally and then they were not sold out.
Yeah, it was wild. I was there the moment they opened. The BlizzCon tickets were fully available, and I wanted the Dark Moon Fair stuff because it seems kind of cool, and I'm probably only ever going to go once. So why not just, try it? There was also that $500 add-on. Not doing that. That's too much. I don't need to spend that much. But no, the Dark Moon Fair, I saw some videos from last year. I thought that's kind of cool. We should try to do that. I was there right at noon. Things opened at noon Eastern. I was there right at noon. I tried to get the Dark Moon Fair thing, and they were instantly sold out. Like literally instantly sold out. But I had seen as I was checking out that tickets were only held for 10 minutes. So I secured our BlizzCon tickets, and then I went back, and I was constantly refreshing, clicking, and they would pop up every now and then. It would pop back up as in stock every now and then. I was like, I see what's happening here. And so every few minutes I would see it pop back up, and then it would be sold out again. And I couldn't get them. I couldn't get them reserved in time. But at the 10-minute mark, it popped back up again as available. Click. I need 3 of them for the 3 of us that are going. Checked out really fast, and I secured those Dark Moon Fair tickets as well. It is the first time I have ever succeeded at like getting high demand tickets.
Well, I'm glad that this was the time that you were lucky there.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. It's going to be very fun.
Did you hear that the midnight release date got probably leaked?
Oh no. What did they come up with?
Just, I don't know, some thing where something is going and then it's ending, but it ends on March 8th. I think it was the pre-patch event on beta they have on the calendar, and it said that that pre-patch event ended on the 8th. So everyone is speculating that the expansion comes out on the 9th.
Oh, okay.
So we'll
March
be
9th.
In season 2. Yeah, March 9th. We'll be in season 2, I think, when BlizzCon is happening.
Okay, cool.
Which is Prime. We're going to announce the next expansion and do. I mean, they do that at BlizzCon every year, but it's right, Prime, like hype season. I'm so excited. I'm pumped. I haven't been to California in a very long time.
I'm very excited to go to BlizzCon, but I'm also expecting that I'm not going to be anywhere close to the right level of into Blizzard stuff to like fit in at this thing. I've never been to like a con or convention of any kind for like, I've never been to Comic-Con. I've never been to like any of those, like a fan convention for anything. So I'm worried that I'm going to be, I feel out of place because I'm not as into it as probably most of the people that are there.
I don't know. I went to Star Wars Galaxies one when I was younger.
Sure.
And I have almost gone to the Warframe one a couple times, but I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of people walking around and showcasing and reviewing and all of that. And I would say there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of people. There's people that go because they like the game, or they go because their friends are going, or they go because everyone goes every year in their guild and they all just meet up. But I don't think, like, gaming is so mainstream now.
True.
I think the people that we're going to see there and that we're going to experience there, yes, are going to be like more into Blizzard than maybe on average, but overall, I don't know. I'm not worried about that at all. It doesn't. I think we're going to see a whole spectrum of people. We're probably going to be on the little, like slightly below average on how into Blizzard stuff we are, because we don't play Overwatch. Well, I don't play Overwatch because that's I don't play Hearthstone. I don't play the other things, but I think it'll be fun. Either way, I think it'll be fine.
I think it will be fun. I definitely think it will be fun, but I'm not going to be like entering a costume contest or anything fun like that.
No. And no. And most people that go there don't.
Fair.
And I think PAX gives where was it PAX East or PAX West, where like a lot of people dress up, like Comic-Con, right? A lot of people dress up,
right?
Based on the videos that I've seen about BlizzCon, that is not as normal there. I mean, it's accepted and it's fun, but it's not as normal as like Comic-Con.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now I got to book plane tickets. We have a hotel too. We've got that secured. Now I just have to, book plane tickets and hope it doesn't get canceled.
Yes, all the travel logistics now come into play. Are you going to do any sort of like, not like costume contest, but are you going to like get any like Blizzard merch to wear, like a t-shirt or something for this?
Oh, good question.
I mean, you have like almost a year.
No, I'll probably wear my Warframe stuff. I'll wear my Warframe and Guild Wars 2 stuff. That's what I'm going to
do. Good idea. Yes, go to all the WoW content wearing Guild Wars shirts.
I might find... No, I probably won't. Honestly, at the end of the day, I probably won't.
I'm thinking about it. Like, I think it might be fun to have like a t-shirt.
We should get matching shirts.
Oh gosh, yeah, okay.
I don't know, maybe Alliance stuff, because I think
that's what like everybody always has like Horde stuff, but like I want like the big lion like on a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, I don't. If I could get like a really classy polo with Alliance stuff on it, I would do that.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye out.
I don't really like t-shirts.
Well, you've got like 9 months or 10 months or whatever before BlizzCon happens, so.
So you're saying I should just have something custom embroidered for what I want?
You've got time.